You're listening to the Piper Carter podcast on the Detroit is Different podcast network. Welcome back to the Piper Carter podcast. You are listening to Piper Carter. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Brittany March. What's up, Brittany?
Peace, Pipe. How are you?
I'm good. We're here on today, which is February the 7th, which is Jay Dilla's birthday.
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Dilla.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah, I did a couple of interviews over the last week with Asia Shine of Musicology on her Dilla Fest event, and then also with Jay Dilla's mother,
nice.
Nancy. Yeah, so those will be
super dope.
Yeah, as well as a couple of other special interviews with people who were significant in Dilla's life, and so look for those interviews coming up. How's your week been, Brittany?
The week has been good, Pipe. Just working. Things are finding its way to in the 9-to-5 world, elevator world, to kind of, I wouldn't say normal, but definitely a nice pace at work, with some people going back into buildings and things of that nature. So
you can say things are moving up.
Things are moving up. How was your week?
Yeah, just doing all these extra shows, a lot of organizing, and yeah, so just a lot of growth happening behind the scenes in all my endeavors. I found a studio to work with, to shoot out of, and did a little with that. And so just working on everything behind the scenes. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
So let's get on into it. It's Dilla's birthday, right?
Yes, it is.
To everyone that loves Dilla, the whole Dilla pantheon and the Dilla legacy. Thank you, Jay Dilla, for creating Neo Soul and giving us so many great beats and putting Detroit was already on the map, but carving out a space for us in hip hop history.
I mean, Dilla, where would you say with Dilla's use of technology, right? Mm-hmm. And Detroit being known for techno, right? Yeah. Where would you say that, like, is there any connection there to that sound that...
Amp Fiddler, legendary funk legend Amp Fiddler, who played with Parliament Funkadelic, who still lives in the same house, by the way, on the east side, what's the area called Conant Gardens, actually had a space in his basement where he welcomed, and he still does, welcomed young people from the neighborhood to come use the studio, learn how to use the equipment. He would teach them. He spent time with them. And he taught Jay Dilla how to use the MPC, which is a beat making machine. And so, Dilla, basically the Dilla sound came from him tweaking that MPC and actually carving out his new sound or creating his new sound. And, he broke one, and that one he gave to Wajid, and that is how Wajid's sound began. And then he had another one, and he broke that one, and he gave that one to Tarak, and that's how Tarak's sound was created. But definitely, we interviewed DJ Head some episodes ago, and legendary music producer DJ Head, who
that's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, he produced the Chronic 2 with Dr. Dre, and he produced the Eminem My Name Is, and like that whole album, and a lot of other things that he is responsible for. But he actually has the SB 1200 that Jay Dilla produced a lot of famous songs that we know today, such as Tribe Called Quest, you know, the music he did with Janet Jackson. So he
I did
actually,
not know he did music with Janet Jackson.
well, you know, so Jay Dilla, I mean, he was known for revolutionizing or um, helping people move into the future with their sound. Like when Tribe changed their sound, it was Jay Dilla's foundation. When um, Janet changed her sound, you know, what's got till it's gone, all that.
Oh yeah.
She changed her sound, like that was Jay Dilla, and just so many more. And yeah, I would say there's definitely the connection between technology or living in Detroit and just that legacy of, you know, the car industry and all the people who, you know, put the world on wheels, if you will, working in the plants and that type of industrial um, workforce culture that permeates here in Detroit, mixed with the Motown legacy, right? And Berry Gordy creating the modern music industry as we know it today, and taking this concept of the line, right, from the car industry and putting that into music, and then creating, if you will, an assembly line for musicians and artists where they are groomed and they are have, you know, music and voice and dance lessons, and where he had a band that, you know, was the main band that, you know, wrote all the songs. You know, he had writers, and, you know, the band, the Funk Brothers, played everything. And so Dilla, you know, we're the same age and the same sign, and he, you know, born the same year, you know, and we're from that, you know, Gen X generation that was like the hip hop generation, right? But we grew up on, you know, like the soul music of the 70s and the 60s, right? And up in this Detroit, you know, industrial type of culture, if you will. And then also too, Dilla was influenced by techno music because, you know, in Detroit, you are surrounded by techno music, right? And techno music is from the hood, it's of the hood, because Black people created the techno. And so being immersed in all of that, you know, in Detroit, we have a dance called the Jit. So, you know, when you go to the clubs and everything and you're dancing to hip hop or R&B or soul or techno, right? And so all of that is very.
I mean, just thinking about like growing up, like as a kid, and at Fridays, right? They would, on the radio station, they would play the Detroit mix, right? And it was everything from Godzilla to work it, like all that, like blues, like dance music, techno music, house music, just like, oh my God, it's like so different. And it's like feels like every time I would remember being like 6 and hearing it. And I remember being like 12 and hearing it. Then I remember being like 25 and hearing it. I mean, and every time you hear it, like, it's just like amazing. Like you get this like nostalgic feeling. Like, so you talk about jitting and then I think about the skate, like, you know, we talk about Chicago being a huge, you know, footwork, like also having, you know, dances that are like very similar, and music, house music that's similar. And then their skating scene too is like incredible, right? Ballroom scene is incredible. Like, so it's just so funny to me how the sound, like you just mentioned, like the automotive industry, right? Like the automotive industry is like the big three, but the big three, it's not just the big three. It's like all their suppliers, like, right? It's like this whole industry that falls behind the big three being here. So when you talk about like techno music or that that sample, that sound, that Motown feel, that 60, 70 feel that's in Dilla's music, right? It's like so much that is involved in that, right? It's not just the music. It's a whole culture. It's a dancing. It's, it's hip hop. It's dancing. It's skating. It's like this whole thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like so cool that something like a sound can translate into a whole entire industry, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And, that, and that's how neo soul, when you think about neo soul, it's the melding and immersion, right?
Yeah.
Like hip hop, R&B, and you can hear the technology, right? The technology. Mm-hmm. It might not be the BPMs, but you could definitely hear, that electronic sound.
Yeah.
In what he was doing. So definitely. Like I said, I got a couple shows that are in the mix for the month of February, because February is Dilla month, including Black History Month. So yeah. Happy birthday, Jay Dilla. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Dilla, for sure.
So let's talk about this Super Bowl, yo. We just finished watching. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't care nothing about no sport. I was here for the entertainment. But before we get into the entertainment and all of that, I want to just have this conversation right here with you right quick. I'm going to play this little clip. This clip is from I'm going to play a couple of clips from you, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to play like 2 clips. All right, let's see what this says.
Now, you may hear behind me, the parties have started in downtown Tampa. Anyone not wearing a mask can be fined up to $500. And on Sunday, fans will receive these KN95 masks as they walk into Raymond James Stadium.
Okay, what do you think? They were giving people masks as they went into the stadium, those N95 masks? Did you see them?
I did not. It's not shocking, but it is interesting to hear that was one of the things that they did. I mean,
I didn't see no K9. I didn't see K95 masks.
I'm looking on TV now, and like as we're talking, the game is in the third quarter with about a minute left. And I'm looking on the field. I don't see everybody. Everybody has on different types of masks. I'm trying to see if they're going to show the fans.
No, they showed the fans a bunch of times.
No mask.
I didn't see, but I mean, I'm not there, but I didn't see no masks. All right, I want to play another clip for you.
Hilarious.
All right, let me see.
Super Bowl parties worry Dr. Aziz Shah.
But I think it's really important that we don't have these large indoor gatherings.
You also have people who are screaming and yelling at the television.
The virus spreads a lot more efficiently when people speak loudly, and that's going to unfortunately make things worse.
What do you think about that clip?
That made me chuckle, and they're like, people are screaming at the TV. I mean, at this point, I think it's like what they did with the holidays. They tried to get people not to go home for Thanksgiving, and people didn't listen. So, I mean, I think people at this point are becoming to get, again, like in the summertime, noited with this COVID restrictions and being around people. The restaurants just opened back up here. Atlanta's been fully open. Florida is fully open. So it doesn't shock me that people are gathering for Super Bowl at all. I know so many people who threw Super Bowl parties, and so I don't know. We'll see if it does something to the numbers in the next couple of weeks. But I know a lot of people who.
I got a clip for you. I said I got a clip for you.
Okay.
Dr. Freire flatly advising that it's a bad idea to hold a party and mix things up with people from other households.
So that's the Dr. Ferrer. And he's saying people should not be having Super Bowl parties.
Too late, bro.
Too late, right?
Way too late.
Wow. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. Like,
if Atlanta's fully open and Florida's fully open, in Ohio, you can go to a basketball game in Ohio right now. Like, go to a Cleveland game, Cavalier game. So it's going to be pretty hard to tell people not to get together. I'm just saying.
Wow, man. All right, let me get another one for you. Listen to this.
With just 2 days to go until the big game, big worries tonight. The Super Bowl could turn into a super spreader event.
Every fan will have nobody seated in front of them, nobody behind them, as well as wipes and hand sanitizer in restrooms, which not only have physical distancing, but touchless. It's the first ever cashless Super Bowl.
I don't know. What do you think?
Sure. I mean, they're a corporation, and part of them reducing liability is doing a PR on the fact that they're being safe. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, the truth is just that when people get together in large gatherings, social distancing, how we're talking to this guy, this customer who was telling me he didn't like the word social distancing. The choice of words he thinks it's a set of programs alone. Like, he doesn't think it should be called social distancing. I forgot what he said it should be called, but the point I'm making is when people, it's human nature, people do not know how to follow the rules when it comes to space. Like, so I just don't think people are going to be, it's going to be all those people at the Super Bowl. It's a full stadium. Like, you know how many people you have to have on staff to be sure people are following the rules? So, like, my thing is even when they like had the malls open where you could go to the mall and shop, but you can't go to a restaurant, right? Like, I feel as if it's easier to manage social, quote unquote, social distancing, more so in a restaurant, because you have so many seats, right? You can say, okay, we're only going to be serving this many people. But in a mall, you can't constrict who's social distancing and who touches what. And a restaurant is more condensed, it's more controlled. So once you open up one thing, like once you have a city, people traveling all the way to Atlanta to just party, people going to Florida for a Super Bowl, like going to Florida to vacation because nothing else is open, like it's almost a wrap.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm like, speaking of which, you saw the halftime show?
Saw 70% of it, yeah.
Did you see like the beginning, at least like to the middle?
Yeah, it was, I thought it was beautiful colors. I thought he sounded actually great. I'm not a huge fan of The Weeknd, but I'm not against him. I thought he sounded great though. Energy was good.
Did you see how many dancers he had?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh man, the whole floor was filled up.
Mm-hmm.
I was whoa.
It looked like 2019, right?
There was a lot of people out there, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have on a mask.
Of course not. He got tested before he got on stage.
I tested. I mean, it was a lot of people out there, yo. Like a lot. Like how many people do you think was on the field with him?
Thousands.
No, I'm talking about on the field with him dancing.
Oh, hundreds.
What you think? Many?
It looked like a lot of people.
It looked like a lot of people. I can't tell. I'd have to like pause it and count.
That's hilarious.
But I like the lights. You know, you saw they had the lights in their hand.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the choreography, okay, just artistically, the choreography was dope.
Yeah. Did he bring anybody else out, or did he just do the show himself?
No, he did the whole show himself.
Was really.
But what was up with their what's the thing? So was that the mask that was the mask he wore, right? To the Grammys, or where did he wear that?
Yeah, I think it was when he won a Grammy, he like showed up like he was beat up.
Mm-hmm. And then so they wore that mask. Like all the dancers.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious.
And then I don't know, I think just the sheer like size of it all, that there were so many people. I feel like that made the show also amazing. The formations and everything was pretty cool. You know, the fireworks. And then like the Michael Jackson light things, you know, that was lighting up like around the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like the set design.
I thought that was cool too.
That was interesting. Anything else about the Weeknd's performance?
I thought it was okay. Like I said, he sounded great. I don't think this was one of those like epic Super Bowl performances. I'm not bashing The Weeknd, but I thought it was mission accomplished. I thought he played records that everyone could relate to. You know, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, 'cause I love you. Like, who doesn't know that song, right? I don't even listen to this man, but I know that song because it's so epic. And there's a couple other songs he has that are, you know, big to that degree. So, I mean, I get the move to have him at the Super Bowl. He's kind of like that person that bridges the gap in between different, you know, like I said, everyone knows his epic songs. So it's a diversity move for sure, a grab move for sure. So mission accomplished, go to 1 to 10, give it a 7. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Alicia Keys.
Hyper. You can move on. I mean, that wasn't even a performance. That was
No, but what was funny was, okay, when I was looking, so I don't have TV. I don't have a television. So when I want to watch things live, or if I want to know what's going on in real time, I have to go to Twitter, or I look it up like on Google or like YouTube, right?
Same, yeah.
All right. So I go to Twitter. I'm like, okay, where's Alicia Keys' performance? First of all, is people showing pictures. I'm like, why are people showing pictures of? And then the thing was, the pictures, if you go on to Twitter, they weren't even of Alicia Keys. It was of like the entire stadium from far away, and like you could see the screen, but the screen was mad far away, and like she wasn't even on the screen, or maybe she was, but you couldn't see it in the pictures. There was one link which I have, and it was of Alicia Keys singing, and I remember I sent it to you. I was like, is this it? And you were like, no. And I was like, this is her singing the Black National Anthem, but it's 4 months ago. And you were like, it's not it. It's not it. And then you sent me the link, and at that time, you were like, no, this just happened like 31 minutes ago. And I was like, how? Because when you sent it to me, I was like, it's the same video. She's got on the polka dots with the hat. And you were like, no. Then you were like, yeah. Then you looked at it, and we were just cracking up. Like, because I was like, this is 4 months ago. How was it 4 months ago? But I guess it's just like a re-edited video.
Like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. Like, someone just uploaded this video. And sure enough, here's this video 30 minutes ago with like the teams that are in the Super Bowl, like standing there, like, you know how they are standing there and waiting for the national anthem. And then there's a video of like all these different events or people, hanging out around Alicia Keys. So they basically take this pre-recorded video that you're talking about 4 months ago, and they stick it with this new footage. And it's like kind of weird, right? You would think that it would be a fresh Alicia Keys performance, and it just isn't. It's 4-month-old NFL footage of Alicia Keys. It's hilarious.
So I guess basically what probably happened, I'm just guessing, Jay-Z had the deal, right?
Yeah.
I'm just making this up. Like, I'm just guessing. So Jay-Z got the deal. He's like, okay, I got y'all. I'm gonna do this halftime show for y'all. It's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. We're gonna have Alicia Keys, we're gonna have the weekend, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he called up Alicia and Swiss and was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, and wanna do the national anthem. And I could see Alicia Keys being like, hell no, I ain't doing no damn national anthem for no Super Bowl. We've been out here kneeling for Cap. And why you out here trying to, book the Super Bowl? And I could see him be like, nah, listen. This is what it is. You gonna sing the Black National Anthem. And then I could just see her being like, yeah, okay, I'm with that. I could get with that. That's what's up. I feel you. I see where you're going. Then
So curious.
he was like, okay, bet. Then she does the Black National Anthem. You see what I'm saying? But I bet you she was like, but I'm not about to be there with no tens of thousands of people risk COVID. And he was like,
the footage
we're gonna video it. It's gonna be a video, you know, and then we'll show the video live. And she's like, all right, bet. I don't know, something like that. What do you think?
Something like that. It's just weird that they did it 4 months ago. Like, it's the Super Bowl. I'm just shocked. You know, the Super Bowl is known for even just commercials being new. They don't use recycled commercials. You don't never.
I don't even watch sports. But this is how much I don't even pay attention to sports. Your link was like, no offense, some rando link. My link was the official NFL link.
Mm-hmm.
And the official NFL link was uploaded 4 months ago.
I know, that's crazy.
We missed that.
That's wild.
We totally missed that. Because I didn't see anything about it. Did you?
About her doing that?
I haven't seen no press or nothing.
Yeah, that's so random.
I missed it. And like, yeah, yours was the new link. Mine was the old link. It was up 4 months ago, and she had done the anthem, the Black National Anthem, like 4 months ago. I don't know. Like, what did you think about her rendition of it?
It was fair. Alicia's cool. It was a nice performance. Again, nothing for me like that was. It was Alicia Keys-esque. She looked amazing though. Like, that outfit she had on was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
She looked great.
Yeah.
I like that song a lot, of course. I mean, but other than that, it was cool. I told you whose performance I like the most.
No, you can't have hers. It's mine.
Oh, you gotta come on now.
It's my favorite.
It's mine.
Fight you. It's my favorite.
I'll definitely fight you for her. For her. No pun intended. That was an awesome performance.
She was dope. Wait, let's hear it right quick. I'm gonna play the whole thing. It's like about 3 minutes. You cool with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Signing tonight's performances is Warren Wawa Snipes. In celebration of our country, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome multi-Grammy award-winning artist, Her.
For spacious skies, for rainbow waves away, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain.
Great, huh?
That was fantastic. I'm a huge fan. That was awesome. That was
awesome.
That was great. Yeah, it was perfect.
She was amazing. I mean, and she looked great. She played great.
Yes.
She
was phenomenal.
She was phenomenal. She played. She made it her own.
Yes, and truly embraced it. Right, like
truly embraced it and made it her own.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone forgot about Kaepernick.
I know, right? Of course they did. Jay-Z already told you. He said when they first asked him, like, I thought, everybody, when he did the press release that he was being over the music last year, people, I think Charlemagne was the one who asked him, like, so what's up with the Kaepernick? And he was like, we got to move past kneeling. Like, okay, we kneel. Like, what's next? That's literally what he said.
Damn. Well, yeah, I remember that. Now, so
whatever.
It's interesting because I saw on Twitter, everyone was listening to this, and the whole thing on Twitter, everyone was like, talking about Kaepernick and everything. And then everyone was like, so, her rendition of this America the Beautiful, it makes me just like love America.
That's funny.
It's funny, but it's true. It's like, oh man, like all the memes and everything was like, oh, I love America now because of her.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Right?
We are hilarious.
They show all these soldiers like saluting, and they was like, the funniest one I saw was, how when they go like me and then they say them like that, those Twitter things like that.
Yeah.
It was a picture and it was like of this Black Marine with his white glove, like doing a salute with a tear coming down his eye.
Mm-hmm.
And the top part said me, and it said fuck America. And then the bottom part said me listening to her sing God Bless America.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta go because you sent some to the chat. Like I saw a few of them that were hilarious, but I didn't see if did you send the her ones?
Yeah, I sent that one to you privately. It's like
it's so funny.
Dying laughing. But it was a bunch of memes like that. And I was like, yeah, it's funny because like, yeah, where's Cap?
I see some of the ones. Yeah, I see what you were sending me.
Okay.
Are hilarious.
Along those lines, right? Similar but different. Along those lines, I got another clip to play you. So
okay.
We talked. Okay. Did we get a chance to talk about the Biden inauguration? Not so much, but the rhetoric there, right, was pretty much like about multiculturalism and this whole thing about like we got to unite, we got to go across the aisle, we got to work with those across the aisle, which basically means like a return to neoliberalism. You feel me?
Like the 70s.
Well, just like a return to like racism as usual, like the regular racism. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, just don't be Black. Love everybody. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so neoliberalism, without getting all technical, if I'm gonna simplify, I mean like super simplify, it's pretty much like this idea of embracing all the ideas of colonialism, right?
Got you. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like these ideas of capitalism, not the extreme capitalism that we were seeing, but yeah, even extreme capitalism in some cases, right? So the ideals that America as the superpower, right? America as this sort of savior, right? The flattening of identities, but more importantly is like I would say, acceptance of the American ideals, if you will. And so these ideas about people being upwardly mobile, like pulling up your bootstraps, and, you know, success and achievement, Black excellence, like, you know, these things that are, I'm going to say, more on the surface level, but things that, that, you know, we see that American culture is based on, right? Get the house, 2-car garage with the 2 cars, you know, this sort of like elevation of the middle class. No offense to the middle class, you know, but this sort of elevation of that, right? This type of idealism. So, and then all of the things that when I say we, I'm talking about the collective we don't see that goes into ensuring that, you feel me? So all the things that ensure that is your military, right? So you have, you know, all these types of things, right? Business, like big business, right? Like, so favoring big business over people, or like bailing out banks or some shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
And just these really terrible things that, you know, keep the dream alive, if you will. So we should probably do like a whole show on neoliberalism, but in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could say like Obama, right? Was like, you know, neoliberal, like bourgeois Negroes are neoliberal. The idea of an idea such as, okay, you can, you know, have all of this money and this capitalism, but these businesses giving back, right, to the poor, but they're taking from the poor. Why can't that you wouldn't have poor if the businesses would pay people properly and treat them well and take care of them? You feel me?
Yeah, I do.
So these are all neoliberal ideas. So anyway, I could go on. We could do a whole show on it. But with that, shouts out to her. I'm gonna just shout out that she did her performance really well.
And what about the young lady with the poem? What'd you think about her poem?
I was gonna do her after. I'm gonna play this Jasmine Sullivan right quick.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
But we could go to her. You want to go to Gorman first?
No, please.
Okay.
I just was mentioning it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about her. I want to play this. So, okay, with that, because this also goes with the Gorman thing. I want to say. Jasmine Sullivan did her thing, right?
I didn't really hear it. I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah, Jasmine.
I saw it.
Let's do this. Let me play it first, and then we had a conversation. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, let me turn it up. All right, here we go.
Service color guard from the military district of Washington. They are joined by drummers from the United States Army Field Band, Washington, D.C. To honor America and perform our national anthem, please welcome Grammy-nominated country superstar Eric Church and multi-Grammy-nominated recording artist Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, say, can you see a battle dawn light? What's so proud?
right. So
That was awesome.
she was great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on Twitter, they was just like having a ball, man, eating that up. They was just
That's
talking
cool.
junk about how it should have just been Jasmine by herself.
I mean, basically, I told you I just remember her blowing him out the water, but she wasn't trying to. She was just doing her.
Yeah, she was amazing. She wore that white suit. She looked cute too in her white suit.
Mm-hmm. She did. She looked
And
really good.
I learned on Twitter this was the 30th anniversary of Whitney singing it.
Oh, was it? Man, that'll never be another.
Yeah, and you know when Whitney killed it on that with her tracksuit. But
yeah, we used to play that before our basketball game but instead of somebody singing it. We sometimes had people in school sing our national anthem before the game. But it was mostly a recording of the Whitney Houston.
Well, you know, so with this one, yeah, shouts out to Whitney Houston, rest in power. Thank you, Whitney. But with this one, what I found interesting is okay, that's what I want to talk about the Gorman thing. So I think that they had both of them because like I said at the inauguration, did you notice the rhetoric at the inauguration?
Yeah.
Where they were saying they want us to unite and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how they, you know, at the inauguration, they had Garth Brooks.
Yes. You told me that.
Yeah, they had Garth Brooks and this poet. So this kind of reminded me of that, you know, like, because Jasmine Sullivan is definitely like a soul R&B singer. There's nothing pop about her.
Nope.
She's definitely like a definitely like soul singer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so to have her with a definitely like country guy, because that sound right there was nothing pop about his country music. Like that was country.
Yeah, it's like the save the dying genres national anthem.
That's funny. But I think it was more like they were trying to show the multiculturalism. You see what I'm saying?
So too.
Mm-hmm. And they were trying to say like, oh, we need to unite. So it's like she's representing like the Black Lives Matter, you know, and then he's representing like
Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys, not even Proud Boys, like the because you know the Proud Boys got people of color in there that he represented the people that stormed the Capitol.
Right.
You know, the Wonder Bread with American cheese and mayonnaise, you know what I'm saying? It was Oscar Mayer, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So he was representing that, and you know, I think they was basically trying to tell that story. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but okay, they brought back the little. Well, I shouldn't say little, but she's little to me. But the young poet laureate who was not only the first, the youngest poet laureate to give her poem at the inauguration, but also at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's 2 firsts for her, a couple weeks apart. Amanda Gorman, you know, she's young, man.
How amazing is she? Like, what?
Okay, so I view this poem though was kind of more like a commercial.
Yeah, it was for sure.
And so with the Jasmine Sullivan performance, basically, if you saw the visuals, right? Well, you saw they opened with the Army's band, right? The Army's marching band. And
yeah.
If you see all through the video was all this like military visual stuff, like all the different military, you know, they're promoting the military, you feel me? And so all that was like, and those are the 2 populations that they promote the military to. You know that, right?
What's that?
The poor white.
Oh, the ones that were. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and also, you know, Black folks, you know, the poor people in general. But yeah, so there was all this like, that was like advertising to me also too. having them do that national anthem. But with the Amanda Gorman, and also the Jasmine Sullivan, you'll see all these like references, but the Amanda Gorman's is dedicated to the teacher. You feel me? So they're basically trying to equate a teacher to me, like just with her lyrics and the whole visual thing, to a soldier. So it's also still like this sort of the military type. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna play the Amanda Gorman because that was a pretty. Actually, I wanted to play before that. I wanted to play this other clip that I found, which was an interview she did before the Super Bowl. Let me see how long this clip is. It's not that long. It's like a minute long. She was on what's his name? Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah,
yeah.
He let his hair grow out. You know, what do we have? Do we have 4C?
Yeah, basically.
He let his hair grow out, that Trevor Noah. He looks like a different person, doesn't he?
Yeah, basically.
Him and Jay-Z are two of the people that let their hair grow out. They look like different people.
Jay-Z is hilarious with his hair like that, but I'm not mad.
So this is her. I'm gonna just play this 1 minute clip. I think the full interview is on YouTube. But this was her. She slated to play the Super Bowl, but this was her like earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You are slated to perform at the Super Bowl. That is correct?
Yes. I didn't
You understand the juxtaposition of this right now, right? Poetry at the Super Bowl. You understand the levels you've made it to, where they were like, this person is so good that we have to bring her to do poetry at the Super Bowl.
Right. Literally, that went over my head because I knew about the Super Bowl and the inauguration around the same time. And it was like there was not space in my head for both. Like I kept being like, I got to write that inauguration poem. And my team was like, there's this little thing called the Super Bowl, which you should also keep in mind. And so, it's very rare. And I would say, if not, an extant possibility that a poet will be at something like the Super Bowl. It's just nothing I have really heard about before. And so the moments I strive for in my lifetime, which is to bring poetry into the spaces that we least expect it so that we can fully kind of grapple with the ways in which it can heal and kind of resurrect us.
So that was her.
Yeah, she's the bright one.
Isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
How old is she? Like 21, 22?
Yeah, she's 22.
She's 22, right? Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. And I thought that too, right? Like poetry at the Super Bowl, but it just makes me think, like, why? I'm such a skeptic, but I'm like, why? And that's
why.
Keep thinking about, like, why? You know what I mean? Or no?
Yeah, I said, why though? They're trying to. Biden already said this is a time for healing. So, I think their administration is being told, you were voted in by a segment of people. You have to, continue to relate to them. So part of this, I think, new administration feel and this whole new direction of where America's going, like you said, is us accepting each other and everybody say they're supposed to love each other. And so in order to heal, that's what they're pushing for. I think that's what they think that needs to look like for us to really move forward. So
I think
whatever, I get it.
Voice of the poem.
I just want us to stay focused on the things in our communities and the things that we're actively working on. I don't want us to get distracted. That's what happened after Dr. King passed. It was everybody needs to love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a lot of access to things, but it was used as a pacifier. So we have to be careful. We have to understand what, it's not ironic. Carter G. Woodson, I learned a little bit about him from having to pick out some quotes to put on some pizza boxes. So I really was like looking at his foundational thinking. And man, he was like, to me, a lot like W.E.B. Du Bois, like a lot. And he also reminds me of one other person in the way that he just thought or whatever. And what I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to have a space where you're doing something on your own. Like it cannot all be given. Like people can facilitate and help based on that being their duty and what they want to do. But then you still as well have to know who you are. You still as well have to build on your own. So anytime there's a call for unity, that's cool. But we also have to have our own call and isms as well. That's all I'm trying to say. That's my only thing. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. But yeah.
Well, let me play her poem.
Cool.
It was dedicated to the teachers, right?
Cool.
But I want you to listen to the lyrics and then you tell me what she's talking about.
Okay.
Today, we honor our three captains for their actions and impact in a time of uncertainty and need. They've taken the lead, exceeding all expectations and limitations, uplifting their communities and neighbors as leaders, healers, and educators. James has felt the wounds of warfare, but this warrior still shares his home with at-risk kids. During COVID, he's even lent a hand live streaming football for family and fans. Tremaine is an educator who works nonstop, providing his community with hotspots, laptops, and tech workshops so his students have all the tools they need to succeed in life and in school. Susie is the ICU nurse manager at a Tampa hospital. Her chronicles prove that even in tragedy, hope is possible. She lost her grandmothers to the pandemic and fights to save other lives in the ICU battle zone, defining the frontline heroes, risking their lives for our own. Let us walk with these warriors, charge on with these champions, and carry forth the call of our captains. We celebrate them by acting with courage and compassion, by doing what is right and just. For while we honor them today, it is they who every day honor us.
Okay,
I like the way that ended. That was dope.
The epic music.
But I really, really loved what she said at the end. We have to think about the people whose job is to honor us. Like we honor them because they're honoring us. Like I like that because I'm running into more people who've served in the military, whether no matter how they got there, right? Why they chose to go to the military, right? But when they go there, these people, we see movies like Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Presidents, right? The kids play Call of Duty, right? There's this whole thing where we feel as if we know what war is or we know what military life is like, but we have no idea. Our country treats people with disabilities, Black people, and military, all three, okay, two of the three have built this country, right? And people with disabilities, those are people who, a lot of us have, anyway, the point I'm making about disabilities is people with disabilities did not choose to come here with a disability, right? So it's our duty to take care of them is what I'm getting at. And so to me, those three segments of people, including teachers and nurses, people don't take the time to really think about those segments of people. And what and again, when we talk about honoring people that honor us, teachers whose life missions are to honor and to serve children, people in the military, right? I'm not saying to you I'm pro-military, but it just is what it is. People choose to go to the military. And when they go to the military, but they're basically doing this, serving and protecting us. We live in this country. There's a reality to us being Black in this country, but we're here. So if we're here, that means the people in the military are protecting us as well. So I think that poem of what she's saying, we're honoring the people who honor us, is very, very, very powerful and important for us to really, really take the time to understand and appreciate those segments of people that I think we take for granted the amount of social work these people do. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, for me, I appreciate everything you're saying. It resonates. Only thing I want to add is I will just say that I'm anti-military, right? However,
Same.
I'm pro-human, right? And I understand a lot of our people are in the military. Like that is what it is. And against them. I appreciate their hearts for thinking that the way that they think, right?
Yeah.
People in the military in general, not all of them, but in general, have a thinking that they're doing something for us, right?
Yep.
They're protecting us. So I appreciate that in their hearts, this is their intention, right?
Yeah.
Is to protect us. I don't agree with them though. I see the military as a business. I see these wars as business. I see them being sacrificed and unappreciated. Not only unappreciated, but just the
undervalued.
Is garbage. You know, when people come back from the military, you know, they go in thinking that they are doing this noble duty, and then when they come back, they just get treated like trash.
It's ridiculous.
Many of them don't get access to the benefits that they were promised. Many of them have to fight and can't get access to the education that they were promised. Many of them, you know, come back emotionally wounded, scarred forever. Many of them come back physically wounded, scarred forever, and become disabled, right? Whether through trauma, like mental, emotional trauma, or through some actual like physical trauma. And you know, our veterans just get treated
horribly.
I had a mentee, it's about a decade ago or more. And she was in the military, and she's a poet. And I remember she would come to the gallery that I owned, and she would do her poetry. And she said that was the place where she felt free, and the place where she felt supported, you know, to be able to do her poetry, right? And so when she would do the poetry, we would have the open mic, she would do the performance, and then when she would complete her performance, she would cry, you know, and then she would come to the gallery like on days that she, you know, that just other days, right? And have conversation with me, and she would just cry, and she would say, you know, I come here because this place is very healing for me, because I'm haunted. Like I'm haunted by because she went through a tour, right? And of active duty. And she would say, I'm haunted by the things that I had to do. I'm haunted by, you know, my thoughts. And she was like, it's hard for me to work. But when I go to the VA, the Veterans Hospital, in order for me to get my benefits, and in order for me to be able to, you know, get the support, because they offer them support, right? But they have to agree to certain things and sign papers and things. And she was saying that in order for me to get my benefits, in order for me to get the support that I need, I have to go to the hospital, I don't know what it was, once a week or something like that, and sign in, and then take these tests to prove that I'm taking this particular medicine, right? And she hated taking the medicine because she said the medicine made her loopy, confused, lethargic, you know, slower. And she said what was difficult is that she couldn't really get a job and hold down a job, because every time she would get a job, she would go through all these emotional issues. Plus she would be like physically slower. And so she was saying that she couldn't think, she couldn't, you know, she would get confused. And so she said, you know, and then part of her face would go numb where she would drool a little bit. And, you know, she was a bit slower. And she said she just could not function on her job. Like she couldn't even think, like have thoughts to like do her job, much less like physically do the job. She said, but she was trying to hold a job so that she could get off of these benefits, right? Because the benefits are like very minimal. It's kind of like being on welfare. But she said, because she couldn't hold down the job, she would get fired all the time, right? And so she said she kind of had to be on the benefits because she couldn't hold down the job. And that in order to keep the benefits, she had to do the medicine. So it was just like this conundrum, and she would just cry because she was so depressed, you know, of being in this conundrum. Now she's one person, but there's
I mean,
I know.
Come on now.
Similar kind of thing.
I think so for sure. I mean, now these are two things I've heard from about the military. Okay, it's two things. One, depending on your type of lifestyle and what you have, the choices you've made, and what you're not you trying to figure out your life. When you go to the military, it exposes you to so much because you're traveling, you're seeing, you're coming together with all different types of people, right? And then the other thing that I've heard about the military is, which is rings true as well, that they just don't take care of the people once depending on who you are, what your experience was in the military. It could be hit or miss if you are, to me, giving you the benefits that you deserve. I've heard horror stories, and I've heard people who highly recommend the military because of what it can do to jumpstart your life, right? So it's just kind of like, it bothers me that people who do their bargain when it comes to the military, do their part of the deal, and don't get what they deserve back. That just really burdens me. It just does. Like I know so many people who also come home and are older veterans who have to, like you said, sit and be on the phone for hours, go into all these places to fight for the things that that should be given, that should be already organized through our government. It should automatically come to them. You can tell who's been in the military. They could probably tell who was in the military in the 90s even without the social media and shorter access to technology. I'm sure it was easy for them to tell who was in the military. There should be no reason why, if you were in the military, you need to apply or do anything special. It should automatically be yours. That's wild to me.
No, it's just so with that, I think, all this imagery like during Super Bowl, right? Where they're selling the military, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
They're selling people on this idea of I don't know even what, like I don't even know what the idea was. Cause like I guess that it's noble, you know? Yeah, it's interesting. I guess that's what they're selling people on, is that it's noble, huh?
What? That is what?
That it's like noble. I mean, because like when you think about it, right? When you look at it, like I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what I saw as far as like, because when you see images, right? Super Bowl is basically supposed to sell you stuff. You feel me?
Right.
And they're selling you images, they're selling you ideas. And for me, I'm actually like confused as to like what they were actually like trying to sell, if that makes sense.
I think that they know that they have a bad reputation there's a bad reputation that the country's own military isn't taken care of. So I think that any chance organizations like the NFL they make so much money. So many veterans are fans of the NFL that it's their social responsibility to highlight the military. But in turn, I think what it is definitely an advertisement for the military, period.
Yeah, it's definitely, because it was so much military, like
esque, yeah,
imagery, and so much military, like even just like the music had all like military undertones, like all of it did.
True.
All the performances had like military undertones. I think also too, the imagery, just like I said, like all the different facets of it was just like a big commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For the military. It's just amazing. But and then it was like all the military like visuals like all around. For me, it was normal. Like for me, I felt like it was a bit more than I'd seen in the past. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What did you think?
I would say from my experience of watching the Super Bowl, it definitely had a huge military undertone. But again, I don't really watch football, so I could be wrong, but I do see what you see for sure.
I just felt like it was so laden with like so much military. Like I feel like I hadn't really seen that much like military presence at a Super Bowl. Except, when I feel like it was back in the days of I hate to say 9/11, but it had that kind of feeling to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It definitely had that kind of like 9/11 type feel to it. It was just like, wow. I don't know. It was just strange, It was just strange to like see that much I don't know, uniformed presence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At a sporting event. So I don't know. It was definitely a message for sure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the message is like, okay, get ready for something. You know what I'm saying? Like for boating, or I don't know. I don't know what it means. But it was definitely yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay. That was pretty interesting. But I don't know, great performances. Shoot, we didn't even care about the game.
No, not really.
And nobody was kneeling.
No one was.
And there
kneeling.
was a lot of white players highlighted. Like the black players that I did see in all of that, when they did like spotlights, and I'm not talking about through the game, I'm just talking about in all this entertainment stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But one time I saw black players, they were like talking and goofing around. It was during Jasmine Sullivan's performance.
Okay.
But all the other like visuals like that I saw of players was like all white players.
Interesting.
And they were all into the music or they were focused on the game. I don't know, but it looked the same. It just had a very this Super Bowl had like a real strange like feel to it.
It definitely did. It definitely did.
It felt weird. It felt foreboding. It felt eerie. There was something eerie about it. You know?
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah. Well,
we've been talking for $1.10, and actually it was good though too.
It's food. I want to hear about your business, little lady.
Oh, well,
start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Okay, well, last year when you dragged me and to Willis Show Bar after the Women in Hip Hop retreat, its food really did a lot of different types of food with the help of Shannon, who's moved on. Sonata's moved on. Shout out to her. And, Black Cocoa Bakes, who was a really, really, I'd say vital in getting its food rolling and doing pop-ups and helping us understand taking food to the next level, right? Just because she's a trained chef, a trained baker. So, we definitely had a great time. Our last event was March 12th, I think. It was the day that the state put the restrictions on for everything and became a state of emergency. It was the same day of that. She put the restrictions on our last pop-up, and we had planned to have this great pop-up. So many people were telling us they were gonna come, and by 7-8 o'clock, people were telling us that they couldn't come because of the state emergencies and they had to play it safe. And I remember just being like, it is what it is. Like, we literally worked from the time we went to Idlewild from July until January. Until July of last year after Idlewild till March. We were busy, Piper. Like, I'm talking about, we had things like 2 or 3 times a month, and still working, right? Still doing the 9 to 5, still being a human being, right? We were making it work though, right? But it was busy. And March hit and didn't realize like how much we were doing, like how much food we had made, how many people we had touched. And COVID kind of gave me a huge perspective on all that like we were able to accomplish through just simply, doing one pop-up at Willis Show Bar October I think was October of 2020, October of 19, excuse me. So so during COVID, just trying to figure out, what the next steps were, from the period of March all the way until like I'd say really September, trying to figure out what Is Food Detroit's direction was going to be, just trying to really understand, the pop-up business. The food industry in general is a tough industry. If you say you're going to do food, you're telling yourself that you're going to have days where you're not going to sleep. You're going to have days where you are tired beyond means, but you're getting up early, especially if you're a baker. It's something that you have to commit yourself to in order to be successful. And then it's not just about the food. It's about the business side of it. We talk about the music industry and how people, love music and they're talented, they can rap, they can sing. But what sets people aside is their way of how they look at themselves in doing a business. And food is the same thing. So when you say you're going to do food, you have to really commit yourself. So with that being said, I mean, through COVID, it gave me the opportunity to really embrace and understand what we had done, and then figure out what was truly right for Is Food Detroit. Like, what direction, with now seeing how a pandemic can completely control an entire industry, right? We talk about how, we talked about people not getting enough support, right, during COVID. In the food industry, right? The amount of the loans and grants that went to all these bigger corporations that are disguised as small businesses because they have franchises were privy to the money that was supposed to go to true small restaurants. And it just didn't happen. I was in New York the week before our last pop-up. I was in New York. The last week in February. And I went to several pizzerias. Like, I did this huge Like, I think I talked about it on the show. I went to all these different pizzerias in like a day. And my friend Sharice, who's working out in Brooklyn, she told me like 2 or 3 of the pizzerias we went to closed during COVID. So the food industry was completely ignored. There was nothing really carved out specifically for the food industry for COVID protocols. Like, they did a loan thing, the loan money got eaten up, and that was it. There was nothing special for waitresses. There was nothing special for bartenders. There was nothing special for restaurant owners. There was nothing special for casino workers. There was nothing carved out specifically for the hospitality segment at all. So here I am in the midst of building a company that's food-based, right, from a pop-up application. And I'm seeing how a pandemic is completely destroying people's hard work and dedication, right? And I'm trying to figure out, how do I avoid that, And that was a transition within itself. It was a scary thought from March to May. But then when COVID started to settle in the sense of seeing how people took COVID and realized how they were gonna have to create new lives, people doing things online, people doing, having groups, people saying they were gonna invest in themselves from a carryout perspective, restaurants taking their little bit of outside spaces that they do have and creating a way, right? So through COVID, through I'd say April through June, showed me that people still will eat out. No matter what, people in this society that we're living in, where people are working more than they rest, they don't have the time to cook food like they want, They were cooking food all through COVID and pipe.
I'm listening.
Okay. I've been talking a lot. So yeah, they've been cooking food all through COVID and they're tired. They want something else other than their food, right? They're working from home, but they're still working, right? They get done and they don't want to cook. So I realized that being in the food industry was still a necessity. My dad always said, if you go into a business where people need it. Let it be based in water. Let it be based in, something that people need. If you go in business, let it be a necessity where you're helping people, where you're serving people, because it's a need. And so I saw that food is still a need. Preparation of good food is still a need in our society. And that gave me confidence to try to figure out, and not be afraid to try to figure out or be vulnerable to what is food Detroit was gonna look like. Here I am looking at all these other people adapt. And so I realized that it was gonna take some adapting for me too, to try to figure out what it would look like. And so, I think I described that to you in my own way in one of our conversations. And I got done and you said, well, you still want to do food, right? And I'm like, well, yeah. And you're like, well, look, there's this group that's getting started with us trying to figure out what post-COVID looks like and pop-ups and things look like. There's this push for the Mama Akua House, and I think you should be a part of it. It's during the week, but you said to me, it might be a good opportunity for you to just get back in it. And I'm like, that's perfect. Whatever it takes, I'll figure out my schedule. But, and sure enough, again, we've talked about it. Detroit is the home of vegan chefs and people who cook. I mean, you can go anywhere in the city and find somebody making rib dinners on a Friday. You can go anywhere in the city and find a church up and down McNichols or 7 Mile, 6 Mile, however you want to say it, and find somebody making catfish dinners. We are the city of out of the house, out of the basement, out of the trap, out of the church kitchen, chefs and cooks. And so there's this huge bubble of chefs that are dedicating themselves to getting vegan food out. I mean, there's Trap Kitchen, there's Black Cocoa Bakes, there's Lit Kitchen, there's Cooking with Q, there's Yum Yum Village, I can go on and on and on. There's all these different Black vegan chefs, right? And so there's this ecosystem. And so sure enough, this group that you introduced me to was exposing all these different types of chefs, like giving people a chance to cook again in a format where it was safe, it was clean, you could do a carry out properly. People could come in and still, by social distancing, still engage with other people, right? They still were having the ability to eat food, support Black business, and engage at little, at the little. And so shout out to GMAC. He's been on a podcast. He's a dynamic brother. You know what I mean? You introduced me to him on a podcast, but I met him in a different way through doing the Mama Akua house. And so we, I told him I can do a variety of things. I can do Creole vegan food. I can do sandwiches. I can do all different types of vegan food just because it was what I was used to being in rhythm. It's not that I put pizza on the back burner, but if I'm going to do pizza, it has to be right. That's my passion, and it's what I've been studying, and it's what I've been, really focused on for the last 5 or 6 years. And I didn't even intend to teach myself that. But the point that I'm making is that when I do pizza, the stars have to align. I have to have oven. I have to have the ability to let dough rise. I have to have the ability to store dough. So there's a lot that goes into doing a pop-up where it includes pizza. But brainstorming with GMAC, he's like, look, you got to come check out this kitchen. I think it's going to be perfect for what you need, and you should do pizza. He's like, we've been doing all kind of vegan foods. Vegan food is evolving. It almost is not even, that's why the company is called Is Food, because it's not, to me, it doesn't even need a name anymore. It's plant-based and vegan. To me, it has exploded to a point where it literally is just food. People are making soups, they're making sandwiches, they're making cakes, they're making all kinds of things out of nuts and plants and things and it's just food, right? It is literally food. So to G-Mac's point, he had seen it all, right? Come through that kitchen, Caribbean vegan food, burgers, vegan food, all kind of stuff. So he says, we haven't seen pizza. And so I'm like, man, I've been on for a year now. I've kind of gotten comfortable doing and preparing food, but this would be a good time for me to get back into doing my pizza I have been practicing on through COVID. So I started by, I think we sold out of 30 pizzas the first time I did the Mama Akua. Then the second time I did the Mama Akua, I did 50 pizzas and sold out as well. And so from there, GMAC hit me up and says, hey, there's this martial arts studio on the east side. You should, you should make them pizza. They love pizza. And I told them that you made pizza and you should come and make them pizza. So I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, in my mind, I'm definitely not going to turn it down. I love a martial arts studio on the east side. I want to see that for the documentary, shoot. So I'm like, don't want to turn it down for that alone. But then in my mind, I'm like, how am I going to do this? So he like, oh, by the way, they got a full commercial kitchen. So I'm like, what? So the other thing, right, when we talk about the vegan chefs in the city and all these Black people who are making all this amazing food license is an issue. My friend that inspired me to change my eating habits in college, right? I didn't grow up eating red meat. I grew up eating chicken, turkey, fish. And she grew up eating red meat, chicken, turkey, fish. And she was my first friend in college that went vegan, like I'm vegetarian. Yeah, she went vegetarian, but then maybe for 2 months and then she went vegan. And everybody used to talk about it, right? She was always fashion for it. She was always music for it. And she was always lifestyle for it. And so people would say to her, well, what you gonna eat? And so we laughed that she was the first person to really explore veganism. And here she is living in LA. She said, I inspired her with starting a pop-up business. So she goes down to her clerk office, gets her food license. Now she's about to get a food cart. But here in Detroit, they make it impossible almost for a Black person to become equipped with the food licensing and properly own a food establishment. It's like trying to get a liquor license. It's like gold, because in order for you to have a food license.
Or cannabis license.
Yeah, right. That too. And a shame of that, right? Because I can get into the cannabis thing. That's a whole nother episode. We definitely should start talking about it. Black enterprise and cannabis. But and how it shifted street marijuana and how that's pitiful. But back to food, if you can't get your food license, you can't walk up in like LA and go say, hey, I want to do a food cart. And, there's so many restaurants and things in LA that it's like it's an open door for anybody. Here, it's a lot of food and it's a lot of food and there's a lot of competition to be the best food here. It's a growing scene, legal food, right? Dan Gilbertland down in Bedrock, downtown, there's all kind of restaurants popping up, right? Even in the outskirts.
And food carts.
Yeah, and food carts, But at the same time, there is either you have a brick and mortar where you can bypass having you have your own commercial kitchen. There's no in between for people who are getting started. Either you got to have a brick and mortar or you have to go through this. You have to have a commercial kitchen that your food license is attached to if you're going to be doing a food truck or a temporary cart. And so for a lot of people, that is difficult. There are not that many commercial kitchens or people who know about who are openly saying they have a commercial kitchen where they allow for people to rent it, right?
Oh, but we have one that's opening.
I know you do, right? I know you do. And I think people are so excited.
The food co-op, is a food co-op. We're about to have it. So I'm going to bring some folks on here to talk about it, actually.
And I'm excited for that because it's a conversation that needs to be had. The fact that Baba Malik and the things that you are doing to help build that, and it's a necessity, the fact that they are already providing with D-Town Farms is providing, like giving people the ability to own, right? I think you pay a certain amount and you're a member, you are plugged into their vision. And then what their vision is and how they've been able to give the imagery, the videos, the farming, the teaching, how they incorporate the kids. And now, the vision that's coming to light year by year of you guys having a full commercial kitchen, offering classes, having a food co-op where there's different restaurants. I'm hoping to be a part of that, so that is beautiful. And you know what I mean? Again, it's needed because in Detroit, it's so many chefs and people making great food, but you'll never know about them because legally they're not able to be as free as they want to be. So Akibalan Village, I go there, I make these pizzas, and I did not realize that this place has been there since the 70s. They bought it from
Akibalan Village, right?
Yes.
That whole heritage comes out of Operation Get Down. And Operation Get Down was a youth program that I was in the 70s. And my auntie used to work there. Shouts out to Frida Diggs.
Shout out.
Me, all her kids, all of us, she put us in Operation Get Down. Nina Payne, my business partner, we talk about that. She was in Operation Get Down. We lived on the east side. It was right over there on Gratiot. We used to go to Operation Get Down. They took us to the Babalo boat. They had the free lunches. You would get the free milk. I hated milk, so I used to drink the chocolate milks. They had They had all types of stuff, dance and all types of stuff for girls. They had the pool table, the pinball machines. I mean, they had everything, but what I didn't realize at the time, but that is so normalized for me now, is they were teaching us about, African-centered principles, and they would give us their pamphlets, and we would pass those pamphlets out in the community. And they were talking about the Nguzo Saba, self-determination, all the programs they had there. Eventually, Operation Get Down turned into a halfway house for returning citizens or those that are recently, incarcerated, formerly incarcerated. And that's what Operation Get Down is now. But now Akibalan is like the youth, and that type of programming over there. So all the stuff they did with us, like all that youth programming, all that is moved to Akibalan.
Understood.
So they grow food. They learn trades. They have workforce development. They have a computer lab. They have a skate rink inside.
Yeah.
All these great things. Yeah, we used to go skating. We used to have all the parties. We used to have
That
dance
is
contests.
wild to me.
Yeah.
When
And
I walked in, Piper, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what is this?
It's amazing.
I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I've never seen, like, they told me that they bought the building from an Italian family or an Italian mafia. And there's all these secret passageways like in this building. You go one way and it's just like, it's endless. It's endless. And so long story short, I meet Brother Cofield as he's eating this pizza that I made, and he's telling me about how much the martial arts studio, they love pizza. And, that he'd love to think about doing some things. Long story short, we do one event for Martin Luther King Day. We did 50 pizzas, and we decided that we were going to do a joint venture. They have a commercial kitchen. They're not really using it. I have a 9 to 5. I'm trying to still work on developing the end result for It's Food. It's perfect timing. It's exactly what, I think is perfect for what's It's Food Detroit. I need my food licensing. I'm going to be able to obtain that through having access to a commercial kitchen that's licensed, that's safe served. And I'm also going to be able to help the youth, something that I'm very passionate about. Kids are great. And I've worked with kids in the form of basketball, right? And I envision myself working with kids in an area that I'm comfortable with, and it's through basketball. And I never would have imagined that, me working on this dough recipe, me working on this sauce recipe, that I would have to position myself to share those recipes with children in a way that they are learning life skills. And it's challenging me because in order to do that, I have to be in a space, and I have to be consistent. I have to hold myself to a standard. And it's not just me looking at recipes and making 50 dough balls. It's me now using a new mixer, making 100 dough balls, teaching children, and, serving a good product, right? I'm in a stage where people are finding out about It's Food Detroit. So that means that, when I talk to the kids, I talk about doing everything with intention. I don't care if you're taking out the trash, you should be thinking about what it is you're doing and how you're going to do it. And then the next task after that, So I explained that, that over the weekend was our first 100 dough ball event, So we're going to be doing this every Saturday. GMAC and I, we talk a lot. We build a menu. In 2 weeks, he was able to turn around an online ordering system. I was trying to figure out how to do that, right? With me, again, having this Saturday operation and me doing most of this on my own in the sense of delivering and ensuring that this product is correct. It's important that there's a system, an online system that, can handle orders. The orders, but during a Saturday, it's going to be difficult to keep an ordering system in place. So the fact that GMAC was able to turn that around is unreal, where people can go online, they can understand what they're supporting, and then they can purchase a pizza, So that was awesome. And the Kibalon has just been an awesome place for where It's Food Detroit can grow and give back at the same time. And I'm just excited, working with these children is, oh my God. I mean, Piper, you and I talked, I think Friday, and we had a long conversation about character and respect and communication. And, in the kitchen on Saturday, I explained to the kids that were between the ages of 12 and 16, GMAC's stepdaughter, Shayla, she's amazing. And so I put them, there were 3 of them. They were 12, 14, and 16. And I said to them, that they were going to be the leads And I, I explained to them how it's important that they follow the rules, because people are going to be looking to see if everyone follows the rules, and if the leads don't follow the rules, it's going to be, they're going to question why they should follow the rules. And so I went through certain process with them, and I said, we have a call out system. If you see something that is a detriment to the final product, to someone getting a pizza that has intention in it, and that is the way that we intended to go out, it is okay for you to politely and professionally to call out that person. And I said, well, in if the person you notice does not have a set of gloves on in between handling vegan food and handling a little bit of the dairy, then that you need to nicely tell that person, excuse me, you need to change your gloves. I said, even if it's me, I want you to feel comfortable. If you see me doing something that is, again, not in alignment with us getting the product out the way that we're supposed to, then you need to let me know that. And so to see children really listen and not say, Brittany said, but to say, hey, man, you think you could wash your hands really quick? Well, why? Well, because if you look at these rules that are posted, I laminated the rules, the kitchen safety rules, and I put it right over the sink. And say, man, these are the rules. You've got to follow the rules. It say right here, you got to do this. And he said, you're right, man. It do say that. Take took his gloves off, wash his hands. And it was no thing. It wasn't no beef. Nobody was mad. Someone said to me, hey, I'm getting myself a set of gloves. Would you like a set? I said, yes, I will. So I'm trying to teach them the things that I've been taught about communication. We talk about learning from each other and applying it. And so this is a journey for me, because it's not just me in the kitchen by myself anymore. I have to think about other people. So I'm out of my comfort zone, and I'm happily out of my comfort zone, because this is an opportunity that I would have never envisioned. But it's at the same time everything that I envisioned for myself and what I wanted to be with pizza. I've always wanted to be on the East Side. I grew up in Warren. My mom, when she came here from Kansas City, she's from Mississippi. The first place she landed was the East Side. She taught she taught on the East. She taught at a middle school on the East Side. She's taught at a lot of places, Robertshire, McKenzie, Persian, but her home was on the West Side at Mumford High. That's where she spent most of her years teaching. But her beginnings were on the East Side, and she always told me that some of her best students, some of the best kids she ever encountered in her career were on the East Side. There's a lot of love there, and a lot of things that we all can learn from by the way East Siders live. And I'm honored to be doing this. So every Saturday, 11 to 7, it's Food Detroit under the name of Village Pizza, in the collaboration with Akiva Line. We'll be selling Detroit-style pizza. And then in a few weeks, we're going to incorporate thin crust. We're going to incorporate some other vegan foods as the summer rolls around. But we're taking it one step at a time to ensure, that we are giving a good product and, really, really developing youth. And at the same time, not overworking the youth, right? So as I'm learning, it's important that these children are learning and they're not being overworked. And the only way to do that is to concentrate on one product at a time. And so that's what we're doing. And we're paying them. They're getting paid.
Yeah, because that's their workforce development program.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That's amazing. So full circle.
Yes,
that's just really amazing, Brittany. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very happy for you. This is dope. I'm excited for the youth too, that they get a chance to learn, especially with someone like you, and that just the whole thing. It's just super beautiful.
Thank you, Piper. Again, you're amazing, and I always tell you bridge the gap. You have helped so many people accomplish their dreams and get to connecting people. That's what this is about. We talk about the Super Bowl and the imagery of working together and this and ending racism and racism being over. We got to end racism. But we have to talk about internally what it looks like to build each other up. You know, we can be mad at each other. We can not agree with each other's lifestyles. We can be bourgeois. We can be hood. We can be backpack rappers. But we have to all find a way to connect. It's the money is there, the knowledge is there, but we have to do the work. No one's gonna do that work for us. And I'm happy to be in a position to where I can do some work. I'll just say that. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
Well, congratulations, my love.
Well, thank you, Tyson Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So wow. Well, you're gonna be there every Saturday, so that's
Every Saturday. Yeah.
all right. I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, I think we can probably like put a pause here.
All right.
I wanted to talk about a few things. I saw that film, A Night in Miami. That film is so awesome. Shouts out to Regina King, the entire staff. Is a great, great writing, great play. It was beautiful cinematography. It was funny. It was done well. Loved it. I think it's an Amazon original. It's on Amazon. So just wanted to, and I guess it's a part of the Black History Month programming. I think it was done very well. It was an interesting story about a night. It talks about Sam Cooke, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, all meeting when and Jim Brown. Then they all met at this motel that was Malcolm X's room. And I guess it's a true story. After Muhammad Ali won the heavyweight champion of the world, and instead of going out to celebrate, they went there and they talked about race and class and culture and politics and everything. And I thought it was done very well. The acting was amazing. The script was amazing. The dialogue was great. I think the costuming was perfect. I think all the actors did a great job. Like initially, I thought, people don't look like people, right? Like they don't look like the characters.
I thought that too initially.
But as I watched, they all did a great job in their acting to where I bought into the characters that they were.
That's a great way to put it.
And so great job to all the actors and great job to Regina King. Great job in the directing.
Yeah, she did a great job. It was a unique perspective to see, to be honest with you.
Well, the writing, the brother that did the writing, it was actually a play.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was a play. So she adapted the play, or they adapted the play to this film piece, which is interesting because we never got to talk about the Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But I
gotta finish it.
I loved it too. I love that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom too. I don't care what no one says. Like that film was dope. Same thing with the Self-Made. That movie was tough. Self-Made. Did you see it, Madam C.J. Walker?
I didn't see that one either.
That one is Netflix. It deviated from the truth, but like the story, the costumes, everything. It was a good story, so it was beautiful. But
that's cool.
But I appreciate these films that deal with a different aspect of that time period, and they do bring in the challenges, right, that faced. But the way that they bring in the challenges is in a way where the characters, you get to see their strength. So you get to see that they had to go through these challenges, but you get to see their resilience and how, they manage these challenges with resilience and strength. And for me, that is the legacy of being an African American. That is our legacy, our culture. is that resilience. And so I hate to use a word like dignity, but that had been a part of our culture. I don't mean it in a negative sense, you know, as if to say that other people are not worthy. But I do think that this idea of dignity has always been a part of the African American iconography, if you will, or the canonization of the African American, you know, human. Has always been this sense of, yeah, there's this intense struggle and challenges, but also this really strong resilience and dignity. You know, doing it with dignity. And so I see that resonating in all these films, as well as, you know, we Black, so Black people like to dress and had a hair laid and stuff like that. So while, you know, looking great and being sharp, you know, and it was funny, you know, A Night in Miami was really funny. It and all these films, you know, I just really love how the actors bring you into this humanity of these people. And
I think so too.
It's a really simple
like
story.
Sam Cooke's and Malcolm X's interaction. Dialogue was very intriguing. There were so many truths on both sides of what they both were saying to each other.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like
I love
that conversation is had between brothers still today. You know, we got to see so many I tell you, the scene with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali praying together. It's like I felt that.
Yeah, I felt that.
You know, I thought about you when I saw that scene, and I just was, you know, in awe by it. You know,
and that's the culture of Islam, is that you pray with your people. Well, I'm gonna say this for women, right? As a woman, as a Black woman, for me, my experience is more in people's homes like that. You feel me? Or in private spaces, right? Of, you know, worshiping in private spaces, not so much at the mosque, right? And so it's like you go over your friend's house and pray, right? Or you pray at your house, or you know what I'm saying? Or you're in like a smaller setting, or like there's just two of y'all. Like my experience with Islam has always been that, studying with just like one person or a small group, or having a sister or like a brother or something that just kind of show you how to pray, show you how to put right over left, show you how to, you know, turn your head each way. You know what I'm saying? Talk to you about the meaning of the words, talk to you about, you know what I'm saying? Like how your position and like, you know, the translations, and then connecting them to the stories, or like helping you connect it to life, and like helping you understand, right? Like how to be, because, you know, so anyway, that part really resonated with me too. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And that was beautiful. What a beautiful film.
Yeah, I'm like I told you, I'm 75% done. I got to finish it out, but so far I've been really enjoying it.
It's so awesome. I love that film. I hope people see it. I'm like, go see it. Is that
I feel you.
Poor movie theaters.
I know. They're back open. They opened up a drive-through downtown.
Where?
But girl, in Dan Gilbert land, right there in Campus Martius.
Really?
Yeah. Powered by Imagine Theater. But I'm still gonna be at the one in Fort in Wyoming. Don't you worry. That's my favorite spot.
The hood.
That's my spot. 12 minutes away. I love that place.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
that movie was so good. Like it really inspired me. That movie.
That's cool, Pipe.
The Self-Made inspired me. Shoot. What's the name inspired me? The what's the other one I said? The Self-Made, Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh yeah.
Another one that I just shoot, the even the Ma Rainey's Black Bottom inspired me. It was
I gotta see that.
It was sad, but it inspired me too.
I got you.
Like her ability to be herself.
Yeah, I gotta catch that one.
That was inspiring. Yeah. So yeah. Well, we've been on for a minute. I guess we can go. We can keep talking, huh?
I know, right?
So you gotta make the elevators go up and down tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
And I got a photo shoot tomorrow.
Have a great photo shoot.
Thank you. Well, this has been great. Tell us one more time about It's Food Detroit and like where to get the food from and how to get in touch with you and if you're doing catering and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So for social media, the best way to get in touch is at ITSFOOD Detroit. It's at It's Food Detroit. It's very simple. It's Food Detroit. And then as far as more information about the collaborative project with the Kibalan Village, you can go to www.vgnpza.com. It's short for vegan pizza. We do have options for carnivores. What it kind of is you ever go to a restaurant and they have 2 options for vegans? Well, it's the other way around. It's mostly options for vegans with an option for your friend who just refuses to try plant-based food. So, like I said, we're there every Saturday from 11 to 7. If you go to www.vgnpza.com, every Wednesday, you can put your order in for Saturday. And online ordering is from Wednesday to Friday. And it simply tells you, you pick which pizza, small or large. We have specialty pizzas. You pick which specialty pizza you want, and you pick a time slot of when you want to pick it up. And we're working on being sure it's ready for you when you come. So we are, again, growing. We're working with the youth. So appreciate people's patience. And the end result is having a final and great product. And I think that's what we've been doing. So that's how you reach us.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Piper Carter Podcast.
Thank you, Pipe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brittany. Folks,
of course.
You can always check us out on DetroitisDifferent.net. That's where all the different podcasts are. You can check all of them out. And we're on social media. We are at pc.podcast on Instagram as well as Facebook. And we have a Facebook group as well. Got a couple hundred people in there. Looking for y'all to join the conversation, and that is Piper Carter Podcast. And you can always email me at piper@detroitisdifferent and .com, or you can email Brittany at detroitisdifferent.com. Ask us questions, let us know what you think about this episode. Share, like, and subscribe to this episode. And we have a lot of different episodes that'll be coming out this month. So we're just really excited about Black History Month. Once again, happy birthday, Jay Dilla. And once again, we just really appreciate all of you listeners, just for tuning in and sharing the show. And yeah, we appreciate you. So we'll see you next week.
Tune in weekly to the Piper Carter Podcast with Piper Carter for a conscious take on music, arts, politics, and fashion. The founder of We Found Hip Hop has a say on what you should know about culture with a balanced conscience. Subscribe, like, and share on Apple iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher to the Piper Carter Podcast to hear the stories and thoughts of Piper Carter. Follow Piper Carter on Instagram at Piper Carter.